Record. Okay. Well, we're here today with Admiral Matt Winter, a member of our advisory board. Like all of you, we wish that he could be here in person. I know that he is anxious to be part of this global event. We're glad that he's able to join us from Virginia today. Admiral, thanks for being with us today.
Thanks, David. I appreciate the opportunity.
And I'm not sure that we've heard from you on in a global way since the U.S. ribbon cutting event. Going back more than a year, and that's been way too long. So we're glad to have you here, and we're going to make sure that you're front and center a lot more often.
Well, I appreciate that, and I appreciate everybody that's listening today, because great opportunity to share some lessons learned, some experiences since the last time I had the opportunity to talk to y'all. Thanks.
Well, we've had a lot of changes since a lot of growth since the last time that you spoke to the ACTIVZ family. Many people who probably haven't had the opportunity to hear you directly. So this is going to be a first time for them, and I'm sure that they're very interested in the things you might share. I wondered, Admiral Winter, if we might spend a little bit of time on your background. You recently retired about not quite a year ago, right?
Actually, I'm at 16 months now.
Oh, wow. Time flies.
It does.
And you concluded a very illustrious career in the Navy. I'm curious, did you always want to be, from the time that you were a child, did you think about the Navy or the military?
So the short answer to that one, because I get that a lot, especially when you retire as a 3-star admiral, right? You've always wanted to be in the Navy. And the short answer was no. So I grew up in a large Catholic family. You know, my father was a theoretical physicist and my mother was an English major. So at the dinner table, I always got it wrong and said it wrong, right? And with my 3 sisters and 2 brothers, and it was just a beautiful family. You know, we got to live together in South Central Pennsylvania. And then it became apparent to my father that he wanted us all to go to college or get education, advanced education in some form or fashion, but he wouldn't be able to afford it. So he lined us all up and said, "You're all going to college, figure out how to pay for it." It was my introduction to a performance-based education directive. So, but you know, my brothers and sisters, in fact, next week when we meet for Thanksgiving and sit down and break bread together, we'll tell these stories over and over again. I'm sure, like all of our teammates that are listening today. But with that, I searched out a Navy ROTC. So that's the Reserve Officer Training Corps scholarship. And so did 4 of my other siblings. So if you look at our family, you might think we come from a long history of Navy or Marine Corps, lineage. And quite honestly, it was a business decision. So I ended up getting accepted to the University of Notre Dame, go Irish, and a 4-year scholarship there. And then accepted into the aviation pipeline. So that's naval aviation. So flying jets off our aircraft carriers, and exciting, very exciting, but also very trying on your time. And I flew for about 15 years. And then we had in the 90s, with peace breaking out and the wall coming down and the Cold War going away, I had the opportunity to transition into our acquisition corps. And so as you asked the question, I always wanted to be in the Navy. The initial entry was no, it was an opportunity. And I had a commitment of 5 years. And with that first 5 years, David, I was passionate about everything that the Navy brought to the table. At 22 and a half years old, I was flying a $50 million jet off of aircraft carriers. I was leading a team of 45 sailors. The oldest was older than my dad. It could be my father. And we were focused on mission. We were focused on making sure that we brought our game to the table on behalf of this grateful nation. But we also, and I learned at a very, very early part of my Navy career, that it takes everybody coming together to be successful. You can't mandate success. And I learned a lot from my 18 to 22-year-olds, which were my peers, but I was put in a position of authority and leadership, not mandating, but authority and leadership, accountability and responsibility. And I learned that we need to bring everybody together. The military has rank and order, but that's not subservient. It is truly teaming together. But when it's time to execute the mission, we have to line up and go do things. Quite honestly, it's people don't want to do, and you got to have fun doing it. So I found that though I loved flying, David, I got passionate about leadership and being able to help my team be better, personally and professionally, not just on the job, but helping those young sailors if they really want to start a family and be able to do the financial planning and be able to be successful and have a family, to think about that, not just do it and see what happens, which some people do, but you put some planning, some thought to it. So with that passion for leadership and helping others, I transitioned and continued to move forward in the Navy. And like I said, I transitioned into the Acquisition Corps, which is, we design and build and deliver the systems and the things that our military uses, ships and aircraft and sensors and so forth. And I found another avenue to implement and learn and grow as a leader. Predominantly, those teams were our government civilians. So when you're on the ship and you're fighting the fight, it's predominantly all sailors, so military. But then as you go into the Acquisition Corps, it's predominantly civilians that bleed just as red, white, and blue as our sailors do. And they're government civilians to the end. And so I did that for the last 20 years of my career, the majority of my career. And then when I met you, David, I had, I was an admiral and quite honestly, very humbled by being selected for that senior executive role and responsibility. But when we met, I was the chief of naval research. And I used to call myself the mad scientist of the Navy and the Marine Corps, and helping the 4,000 scientists to discover the things that only God knew yesterday that we then could take today and apply to not only help our military be a stronger military to maintain security and peace around the world, but also transition that into our commercial aspects and our academic halls so we could help our populations and help our people and our society. And again, I found that leadership and helping people and taking care of people to be very satisfying. And then I thought I was done. And then I got the opportunity to lead the largest acquisition program in the Department of Defense history. It's called the F-35. Some of our distributors may be familiar with the Joint Strike Fighter. And I did that for 3 years and on the geopolitical stage, and I enjoyed that. But that was my running through the tape. I finished the marathon, and that was August of 2019. So like I said, about 15, 16 months ago.
Wow. Well, that's quite a career condensed into just a few words in a few minutes. But thanks for sharing that. It's often said that success leaves clues. And I don't know a lot about the hierarchy in the Navy. I know a lot of people, there's I don't know how many people join the Navy every year, but a very small percentage of them become fighter pilots. An even smaller percentage become admirals. And so what would you say, and I know that you're very humble about this, and I'm going to put you on the spot, what were some of the things that you had to learn to do so that you would put yourself in a position to be selected for those type of leadership positions?
Well, the first thing I'd say, David, is I did not focus on being selected. And one of the things I learned quickly was if you started focusing on trying to do the subjective elements to make yourself look good so you get selected, you take your energy off of taking care of your people and executing the mission. And so I still mentor some of our men and women that are wearing the uniform. And I tell them, work hard, make good decisions, lead boldly, and focus on taking care of your sailors and Marines and executing the mission. And you will be recognized appropriately for potential promotion and greater responsibility positions. And I found that to be absolutely true for me personally. And so in 2009 was when I finished my major command tour. And I knew that I would be in the pool for selection for admiral. You know that. But I also had a plan to retire and go do something else. It's important that you don't expect, but be prepared for those types of things. And then when I was selected for Admiral, we're very humbled and honored. I took that same philosophy and methodology, and I just made sure I put the plan together, got the team together. We focused on taking care of each other and then executing the mission. And 10 years later, I was an Admiral for 10 years, which is a pretty long time to be in the Admiral Corps. There's about 190 to 200 admirals out of about 350,000 sailors. So it's a small group, but I'm very appreciative of it. So I would say to this team, because you're not trying to be an admiral, unless I've got active duty folks out there in the distributorship, but you are trying to continue to succeed and succeed to the next level. What's important is you need to define that level, ladies and gentlemen. You need to understand what the plan and the goals are that you want to achieve. And the first thing you need to understand is there are no wrong goals unless they're illegal. Don't do illegal things, right? There are no wrong goals. They're yours. And it's exciting, right? You can chart your own destiny. And so with that, put your plan together and know you're not going to achieve the goal right away, and you're going to fail, and you're going to learn, and you're going to do better. And that's, I continue to do that today in my consulting role. Now, that's what I'm doing now. I'm helping people do this. So continue to be who you are, have good morals, good values, think, make good decisions, lead boldly, and you'll continue to succeed. And then reach out for help. In fact, you should have my email address, because I always say this: 100% of the ACTIVZ family can reach out to me 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Be more than happy to talk with you. Thanks, David.
Well, that's great. We've also put your home telephone number and your cell phone on everything we can think of. No, yep. I'm just kidding. You were still a sitting vice admiral when we first were introduced, and you first heard about ACTIVZ. So we were introduced by Karen Toth, I know, who is a good friend of yours, her and Ed. And I know that when you first, we ask distributors a lot and members of our ACTIVZ family to answer this question: why ACTIVZ? And so I'll just throw that to you, Admiral. Why ACTIVZ? Why did you consider joining us and ultimately agree to serve on our board? Sure.
Well, Karen introduced me to ACTIVZ as a supplement, as an organic supplement to help your immune system. And it was a product, Link. It was the first product. And she described the product to me and said, would you be interested in being part of the team? And I looked at Link and I researched it. And I was the chief of naval research. So research is in my DNA. And the basic science phenomenology of gut to brain reaction and to be able to excite your gut genome and increase your cognitive awareness to the brain and your awareness overall for your body is scientifically proven. And we did that in the United States Navy. We did that for our special operation forces and other sailors that needed that enduring cognitive capacity. And so gut to brain, I mean, there's a reason why we say go with your gut feel, because it's real. And so when I saw that the product was scientifically proven, I said, okay, that sounds great. Now, how do you sell this? And that's when Karen goes, well, it's a network marketing. And I go, ugh, right? I'm sure like a lot of folks do. I go, I don't do network marketing. I got, I'm not sure if that's the right thing for me. And then that's when I got introduced to you, David, and we sat down and talked about this. And I realized that, you know what, this isn't an Amway, and I don't know if I'm not supposed to talk about other competitors. This isn't something where you're really just trying to take advantage of customers to get money to build your tree. What I saw, what I heard, and what I've been living now for 2+ years is truly a team, a corporate team that's underpinned by a number of distributors that truly and sincerely care about each and every ACTIVZ teammate, be it a distributor, customer, or what have you, and cares about their personal and professional success, cares about their health. And you can see it because this network marketing framework is not a one size fits all. It's truly tailored, and it's tailored to the individual. And you distributors out there get to tailor it to yourself, and nobody can say no, right? Right? In other MLM, you can't do that. You got to follow the cookie cutter, otherwise you're out. ACTIVZ truly brings what I think is an innovative and novel business framework that's underpinned by product that's scientifically based, because it's not just Link, it's genomics and now Optimum, and certain others as we go downstream. And then the face products to help skin tone and so forth. So David, when I saw the science coupled with an accepting and inclusive business framework, I said, okay, I'm in. And that's really the reason why I've stayed too as well, because I've watched the actions of corporate ACTIVZ and all of the ACTIVZ leadership. I've watched their actions follow what they stated they're going to do. So it's not, mouthing something and doing something different. And I'm excited, and I'm certain the distributors out there are excited because the product sells itself as long as you can make sure that you're not trying to sell it for selling's sake. Sell it, but also an opportunity to show how it helps your customer personally and professionally, helps them in their, I call them the 4 pillars of your personal focus, your mental, physical, spiritual, and financial well-being. And ACTIVZ has helped me on all 4 of those pillars. And I will continue to support ACTIVZ until I can no longer draw a breath on this God's good earth.
Well, that's great. In the few minutes we have left, Admiral, I was glad that we passed your test. We also had to be vetted by the Navy itself before they would let you as a sitting admiral. And so we were glad that we passed that test. But there are hundreds and thousands of people who will hear your message. And all of them have different goals, different aspirations, but they do want to succeed at achieving whatever it is that their goal is. In taking the years of leadership experience you have, the years of experience in hitting many goals and maybe not quite hitting others, what words of advice to become leaders to achieve their goals would you share with the ACTIVZ family today?
Okay, well, I say the first one is sort of a negative. A lot of distributors may be feeling out there that some other distributors are really making it happen and are doing great and I'm not, so what am I doing wrong? You've got to flush that thinking out of your brain, right? Because we had that in the military. You'd have folks going, why is that guy doing, getting the good flights, or why does that guy get the good, or gal get that job? I wanted that job. You stay focused on your plan. Put your plan together. And if you see a distributor or a peer or a teammate that's doing well, reach out and ask for help, right? And be willing to help others. Be a mentor and a mentee. So that would be my first recommendation. Second is make sure you have a feasible, executable business plan. Don't put goals. You can put stretch goals. I've told my daughter, we always want stretch goals, but put achievable, feasible goals together. And I use 1, 3, and 5 years because humanistically, it's easy to grab around. So put a plan together. Know what you need to do each day to be moving towards that goal, right? Solicit help from your peers, from your family, right? Keep a positive attitude and looking forward and knowing where you're not strong and you need help. And when you do succeed, share that success with the rest of the team, right? And in that, you will generate a continuous motivation of the team together to do better.
Well, those are words to live by, and we are grateful to have you part of our team, to be a leader that we can look up to, and we're grateful that you have taken a few minutes out of your day today. We hope that you and your family will have a wonderful and happy Thanksgiving. Admiral Winter, we look forward to hearing from you again, and thanks from all of us here at ACTIVZ for being with us today.
Thank you, David, and to everybody, have a joyful Thanksgiving and a great upcoming holiday season. Thank you, David.
Talk to you soon.